Dreamer! So today's video will be about chainsaw milling. Just a quick disclaimer, everything went wrong when making this video. So the mic died, one of the cameras died, two of the cameras died actually. And yeah, I just had a lot of problems in general making this video. And it was sharpened at a 10-degree angle. So bear with me with the sound when it suddenly changes a bit, that's why. But I've done everything I can and I had some help trying to fix it. And I do think that the video turned out great despite all of the issues. But just know that it wasn't my best day. Hey Dreamer! Today's video is about chainsaw milling because I've been getting a lot of requests regarding that subject since I posted some photos on Instagram of me milling on a job. So for the job today, I will be using the Alaskan mill with a Alaskan winch system. And I will be using my lovely STIHL MS661. Stuff you should pay attention to when you are milling. First, prep your wood. Either remove the bark completely, or you can also just clean it up. But you do want to make sure that you don't have too much sand and dust and dirt on the bark because that's really tough on your chain. So clean it up as good as you can or remove the bark completely, and then that's the first step. And then I used some pieces of wood to make sure that it was level. You do want to make sure that it's level for your first cut so that the rest of the cuts are nice and well level. So you can use different things, but I just found it easy to place that. You can also use a ladder or something like that to just make sure that the chainsaw mill can run smoothly on that. But now, as you can see, I already took off the first piece, so it's nice and level here and ready for me to proceed. Other things you should pay attention to, it's nice to have either a, it's nice to have either a felling bar or a lock ox or something like that to be able to move your wood around because it's pretty heavy and you don't want to break your body. So take care of yourself, get a lock ox, something like that, and then turn it with that. And then of course, you know me, I'm all about PPE, so chainsaw boots, chainsaw pants, ear protection, eye protection, so that you're good to go after you've cut as well. Other things you should pay attention to is, one, a chainsaw is not made for milling, so it's a really, really tough job on it. You want to make sure that your saw is nicely warmed up before you start milling so that it's cutting evenly and not trying to get up and running while you start cutting. So make sure that it is heated before starting. Then, of course, you're gonna use a lot of gas, so make sure you have that handy and make sure you fill it up before the cut so that you don't have to stop in the middle of a cut to fill up your saw. It's easy to forget while you're working. Just try to remember to fill it up while working. Also, of course, you need oil, but that makes sense. Whenever you fill up, just make sure to fill up the oil as well. Another thing to take care of your saw is to make sure that it cools down between the cuts. So when you've made a cut, put the saw down, not on the side like I have it right now, but put it up like it normally turns so that the heat can get away and it can cool down nicely. As I said, it's a really, really tough job on your chainsaw. So if you know you'll be doing a lot of milling, like everyday milling, then you should get a real sawmill and not one for a chainsaw. But if it's just an occasional thing, then you can of course use your chainsaw and it works great. I like to use my STIHL MS661 because it's got the power for the milling and it's just a really nice saw. And then I'm waiting for a new bar for the 881 and I'll of course be using that as well. But I would not go any further down in chainsaw models than the 661 because you do want that power when you are making it work like you are when doing chainsaw milling. Furthermore, pay attention to how big a bar you put on. If you're using a smaller saw and you put on a huge bar, then it's an even tougher job for the chainsaw. So if you want to keep your saw running, just think about that. And of course, it's really, really important that you check your air filter and maybe clean that in between cuts because it might get a lot of this fine dust up there and you don't want the saw to burn out because of sawdust. And of course, when you're milling, try not to stop in the middle of a cut because that will leave a mark on your wood, of course, your timber pieces. Make sure to clean your air filter, let the saw cool down, and warm it up before you start. Those are some of the things you really have to do in order to take care of your baby. And we want that baby running. Also, another great tip is to get either a new chain or make sure that it is filed at exactly 10 degrees because you want that cut to be nice and straight. Also make sure that the bar you're using is maintained. You don't want any edges on it and you want to make sure it's got an even wear so you don't get any crooked cuts because of the bar not being maintained. So have a nice bar, have a nice chain that is sharp and sharpened at a 10 degrees angle. For milling, I'm using different chains than the normal ones, but make sure you're getting the right one because that will also help your saw in the long run. So I hope this video answered at least some of your questions regarding chainsaw milling. Remember, you can also follow me on Instagram at Female Lumberjack and on Facebook at FelixJack. And please remember to subscribe and leave a comment. I love hearing your thoughts. Have a great day. See you soon. Yeah, but let's do this. Let's do some milling. Timber. Ja, det är det här. Kör vad du vill. Det är det då.